Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my live videos. So just going to give you some additional information about Harry Maguire from Leicester, as they have been updating you on a regular basis, of course, because we do know he has been subjected to a lot of transfer speculation, and we do know it has been mainly Manchester United and Manchester City that have been battling it out for his current services. So now, according to recent reports I've just read, it does say Manchester City now are reportedly in pole position to sign Harry Maguire, and reportedly Manchester City have scheduled him to have a medical with them. So reportedly Harry Maguire is set for Manchester City medical. But like I said, it has been Manchester United and Manchester City that have been battling out for these services. It did say quite recently, we're confident, we can beat Manchester City to the sign of Harry Maguire. We're also confident that we can outbid Manchester City, for Harry Maguire. But now reportedly, Manchester City are in the ascendancy, because obviously, it did say, City are reluctant, to pay up to £80 million for his services. So I think according to the Metro City, are set to get him in a deal worth around £65 million. But looking at ultimately, Leicester don't even want to sell Harry Maguire, and obviously, this is the main factor reason why obviously they've priced him out of the transfer market. Obviously, they are demanding an extortionate amount for him. Leicester want around 80 or 90 million pounds for him, but of course, City are not willing to pay up to 80 million pounds for him. I think initially, City rate Harry Maguire around 50 million pounds, but Harry Maguire has confirmed from his own preference he wants to make the move to Manchester City, because obviously, he wants to play under Pep Guardiola, and obviously, City have identified Harry Maguire as their number one target, to replace Vincent Kompany, because obviously Vincent Kompany left Manchester City after serving 11 years with them, and obviously now he's player manager at Anderlecht. So basically, City are seeing Harry Maguire as a replacement for him. I think Pep Guardiola is keen on recommending me in and all that. But yeah, like I said, it did say Ed Woodward was willing to pay £80 million for Harry Maguire, because Ed Woodward, was keen on recommending him in, and even did say we was willing to offer him a contract, up to around £350,000 a week and all that. And he even did say, we was willing to offer one or two of our players as part of the deal for Harry Maguire, so obviously, this could try and convince, Leicester to lower their price tag and all that. It came out the other day saying that we was willing to offer Andrews Pereira in exchange for Harry Maguire. Obviously, Andrews Pereira is one of our fringe players, and it also said, we could even offer Eric Bay and Marcus Rojo to Leicester as part of the deal for Harry Maguire and all that, to convince, Leicester to lower their price tag. But not looking like now Manchester City are in the ascendancy of getting a deal over the line for him. But I like Harry Maguire a lot, and actually, he has been one of our top priority targets. Obviously, Harry Maguire was one of the players that Jose Mourinho, wanted last summer. But obviously, we didn't get his number one targets last summer because the board weren't back in the signings that Jose Mourinho wanted to recommend to come in. Obviously, we didn't get Harry Maguire last summer because we wasn't willing to pay up to 70 odd million pounds for his current services. But it's quite clear that we have got issues defensively. We've got issues defensively after that was proven last season, because we conceded 54 goals in the Premier League last season in 38 Premier League games. I think that's our highest total in 40 years. So that just proves the issues that we have got defensively. And I think I like Harry Maguire a lot, and I think he would complement Victor Lindelof in our backline really, really well. I think he'd blend in with him, really, really well. And he's British, and obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, wants to recruit British talents to Manchester United this summer. He's only 26 years of age. He has still got a hell of a lot of development in him. He's proven in the Premier League, but I think Harry Maguire wants to take his footballing career to the next level, and obviously he wants to rejuvenate his career. Manchester United, like I said, we're willing to pay £80 million for his services. Obviously, that would make him the most expensive defender in world football, also making the most expensive, English defender of all time, ahead of Kyle Walker. Obviously, City got Kyle Walker a couple of years ago from Tottenham. I think it was £50 million with initial add-ons included, which did potentially rise to around 52 or 53 million pounds. But he's been at Leicester 2 years. Obviously, I think he's made about 76 appearances for Leicester in all competitions, and Harry Maguire since his arrival from Hull back in 2017. Leicester got him in a deal with 17 million pounds a couple of years ago. I think in total he's made about 101 appearances in the Premier League. He signed a new long-term contract with Leicester last summer, so he's on the contract with them until 2023 and all that. But his defensive abilities are very, very good. He does show that ability, to play out from the back. So obviously, Pep Guardiola, believes he's the right candidate for Manchester City. Manchester City may now consider, offloading Otamendi. So obviously, Harry Maguire can get assured first team football week in, week out at Manchester City. And I do believe first team football, still would be much easier for him at Manchester United if he came to Manchester United. And I do believe he would help us with our own rebuilding project and all that. But I think, I think he's going to Manchester City. He wants to move to Manchester City. City have got Champions League football and all that. City are the dominant force in England at the moment, and they are strides ahead of us. like I currently said. But I think it's going to be hard anywhere for us to attract players to the highest level, because obviously, looking at, we're not in a Champions League football for next season, and Champions League football is always very pivotal, when you do want to get your number one targets, and obviously, it's going to be hard for us to convince players to currently stay. So I think, we are set now to miss out on Harry Maguire. I think he's going to be having a medical with Manchester City, according to the Guardian and all that. I thought we was going to get a deal over the line for him at one point, but the fee was actually problematic and all that, for Manchester United and Manchester City. But I think Manchester City now are reportedly set to get him in a deal worth around £65 million. But like I said, there's quite a lot of central defenders on our agenda. Like I said, I do believe we need two central defenders without a shadow of a doubt. But you can see the deficiencies in the squad. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to bring at least 5 new additions to the squad this summer. We need to see vast improvement, going on into this season, because it was disappointing, last season, because obviously, we finished 6th. We didn't win any silverware, and we haven't won any silverware for the past couple of seasons and all that. But we've got to get we've got to get the right recruitment this summer, because analysing our recruitment policy, it's extremely very, very poor. A lot of people have said we should be sensible with our recruitment this summer. But either way, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has worked out his transfer strategy. He wants to recommend he wants to, recommend a number of young players to come in that can grow, develop and emulate into superstars. And I don't think he's intending on bringing in short-term players to the club. I think we are moving away from the policy of signing them well-established players, because, like I said, it's not always about spending big on players. It's not always about getting them Glasgow players and all that. And like I said, we have got a history of spending big on players, especially in recent years. But Solskjaer wants to bring at least 5 new additions to the squad. I do believe the spending spree is around £200 million. Even though reports came out yesterday, this was coming from ESPN, it was coming from Mark Ogden. He basically said that Manchester United have only got £100 million to spend this summer, but I don't believe that, because obviously £100 million isn't enough for us to address the deficiencies in the squad, and it isn't enough for us to get the number of players that we do currently want in. So if that was the case and we only had £100 million to spend, it's looking likely Bissaka is coming in, and if we do get that deal finalised, that would mean we'd only have £27 million left to spend for this summer. And obviously, £27 million isn't going to be enough, for us to get a central defender in, a midfielder in, a right winger in, and all that. So I don't believe we've only been given £100 million to spend. I do believe it's £200 million, we've currently got to spend. But anyway, we do get the deal finalised there for Bissaka. Obviously, it's going to take Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's net spend to around £73 million, obviously, because it's looking likely Bissaka is going to be our second sign this summer, our second signing under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era, and I think we are set to get him for around £55 million. Obviously, we've already got Daniel James for £18 million, £15 million with add-ons included. That's £18 million, £55 for Bissaka. That takes the net spend to £73 million and all that. So basically, we are set to get Bissaka, which is very, very good news. Obviously, Duncan Castles broke the stories out. He broke the headlines, should I say, and he said, Manchester United have agreed a world record fee with Crystal Palace for Bissaka, and the fee is to believe I think the fee is around £55 million. Obviously, this would make him the most expensive fullback in world football, also making the most expensive English defender of all time, ahead of Kyle Walker. But basically, he has been on our agenda for quite some time, as Bissaka. Obviously, we've previously, had 2 bids, turned down for him. Obviously, last bid, obviously, was £50 million. It wasn't £50 million up front we'd offered. It was £35 million up front, with £15 million in bonuses. But Crystal Palace were not happy with the structure of the offer. Crystal Palace, I think, want around £45 million up front, or 50 million up front, with add-ons included. And I think, we have reportedly agreed around the £55 million fee for him. Obviously, the first bid we had turned down was around £40 million. But I think, his transfer to Manchester United could actually, be fully confirmed today. He did say yesterday in the media, the transfer is expected to be fully completed, within the next 48 hours. We're expected to have hold more further negotiations with Crystal Palace over getting the transfer, fully completed. But we've been in more negotiations, with Crystal Palace, since was it last weekend, something like that. So I do believe he's going to be our second signing. He's predominantly a right back. He's only 21 years of age, and he has still got a hell of a lot of years ahead of him. But I do really like him a lot. You know, he's proven in the Premier League. I think also Tottenham inquired about his services. He's only been in Crystal Palace's senior squad since February of last year, and I think obviously last season he established himself as a first team regular, and I think he's made about 42 senior appearances for Crystal Palace. But I do really like him a lot. I think he's still got 3 years left on his deal with Crystal Palace, but you know, his defensive capabilities are very good. He has got the abilities, you know, to elevate Manchester United forward. But I think he'll be a perfect successor to Antonio Valencia. I think he'll also be a great upgrade to Ash Young, and he'll be a great cover up for Diego Dalot. But Wan-Bissaka is going to want to rejuvenate his career. He's basically told Crystal Palace, you know, that he wants to make the move to Manchester United, and yeah, he wants to rejuvenate his career, you know, take his footballing career to the next level. But he's been a Crystal Palace player since the age of 11, and he has graduated from their youth system. So yeah, I do believe he'll be the right solution for Manchester United. There is 49 days left until the transfer window shuts. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer blatantly said, you know, he wants our transfer business, you know, done by July the 1st. I don't think it's going to be done by the July the 1st. I think we are expected to get the majority of our transfer business done by July the 7th. So that is very good news. And so it's looking likely anywhere. And Wan-Bissaka is going to be our second signing, and he's only 21 years of age. He's going to fit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's transfer strategy, you know, perfectly. So I hope that it is fully, you know, confirmed today. But he did initially say, you know, that we have, you know, we've been interested in Max Evans from Norwich, and basically, you know, we've seen Max Evans as an alternative, you know, to Wan-Bissaka, you know, in case, you know, we don't get the deal fully finalised for Wan-Bissaka. You know, we've seen Max Evans as an alternative, and looking at it from a financial point of view, you know, Max Evans, you know, would substantially, you know, cost us less than Wan-Bissaka. But I think, you know, Norwich are reluctant, you know, to offload Max Evans. He is British. He's only 19 years of age. Obviously, it was only his first season in the senior squad with Norwich last season. Obviously, played about 43 games for them in all competitions. Obviously, you know, won the championship with Norwich. Did Max Evans. He's primarily a right back. Can also play as a left back, but like I said, primarily a right back. Only 19 years of age, like I said. So he's 2 years younger than Wan-Bissaka. But like I said, we are seeing him as an alternative to Wan-Bissaka. Obviously, you know, he signed a new long-term contract with Norwich last October, so he's under contract with them until 2023. He joined Norwich's youth system in 2016, had a couple of years in their youth academy, and obviously, you know, broke into the first team last season. I think he actually, you know, began his career with Luton, did Max Evans, but I think, you know, Norwich are reluctant, you know, to offload him. But like I said, you know, there has been quite a few right backs on our agenda, but obviously, you know, Wan-Bissaka is the top priority. And as I updated you earlier on with in regards to David Brooks from you know, Bournemouth, it does say, you know, Manchester United are in for him. He's I think he's primarily an attacking midfielder, but his versatility is very good, because I think he has played out wide, he has played behind the front man, he has played in deep midfield role and all that. He's only 21 years of age. Is David Brooks. You know, I think he made his senior debut for Wales in 2017, and obviously, you know, he knows Daniel James quite well, because obviously, you know, they both play in the Wales national team, and that, you know, the David Brooks and Daniel James. And obviously, you know, we've got Daniel James on the board. I think, like I said, he's only 21 years of age. Is David Brooks. I think David Brooks is a childhood Manchester United fan and all that. He's had a year of experience under his belt in the Premier League, because it was his debut season in the Premier League last season. I think he played about 30 games for Bournemouth last season. I think he was involved in 12 goals. I think he scored 7 goals and provided 5 assists and all that. So yeah, he's had a year of experience under his belt in the Premier League. Obviously, you know, Bournemouth got him last summer from Sheffield United. I think Bournemouth paid him around £11.5 million for his services. He is under contract with Bournemouth till 2022. I think, because he initially did sign a 4-year contract, but I think he signed a new long-term deal back in March this year, you know, reflecting on his impressive performances. I think he's also had a loan spell with Halifax. He actually, you know, began his career with Manchester City. Obviously, you know, was in their youth system for a lot of years, so he's obviously, you know, had experience of playing in Manchester. And I think he was in, I can't remember how long he was in Manchester's youth system. Was he in there about 8, 9, 10 years or something like that? And then obviously, you know, left Manchester City's youth system, and then obviously, you know, went to join Sheffield United's youth academy, and then obviously, you know, got into, you know, Sheffield United's senior squad and all that. But he did really well, you know, during his tenure now with Sheffield United. So it partly says Manchester United are in for him. It also says, you know, that Tottenham have been in there for David Brooks. But yeah, there's quite a lot of midfielders on our current agenda, because obviously, you know, it's looking like the Pogba's going to be leaving. It's obviously, you know, looking very likely, you know, that obviously, you know, Ander Herrera, of course, was currently left the club, so we're going to need a replacement for Ander Herrera and all that. But like I said, it's very, very essential, that we do get, our midfield addressed out. We need, midfielders that can come in, and score as them goals and all that. And David Brooks, he looks a pretty decent player. I have watched him a couple of times, to be quite honest with you. But do you think he would fit Manchester United's agenda? We probably would have to pay around £50 million for his services. But I think Bournemouth are reluctant, to currently offload him. But as they have been updating as well, probably I think 4 or 5 players are expected, to leave Manchester United this summer. We know, obviously, Valencia has left the club. We know that Herrera, of course, has left the club. But I think it's looking very imminent, that Paul Pogba and Romelu Lukaku are definitely not going to be leaving the football club, even though, we have put huge transfer fees on the pair of them. And I said that could be the possible that could be, the stumbling block of Lukaku making his move to Inter Milan, the stumbling block of Paul Pogba making his move to Real Madrid or making a return back to Turin and all that. But I do believe, they are currently going to be going. But £200 million, but obviously it's going to mount up to a lot more than that. If we're cashing for Pogba, if we're cashing for Lukaku, obviously I think we can probably raise around £200 million for their sales. Maybe we could even get more than £200 million like I said. But about Paul Pogba, obviously I think he's going to be leaving Manchester United. Obviously it's Real Madrid and Juventus that are battling now for his services. I think for a long time his likely destination has been Real Madrid as Paul Pogba's. That's obviously his first choice preference, because I think he wants to play under Zinedine Zidane. But Paul Pogba's confirmed, he does want to leave Manchester United. Obviously he confirmed this last Sunday. He told Tokyo reporters, he wants to seek a new challenge, wants to rejuvenate his career and all that, and take his footballing career, take his footballing career to the next level. Does Paul Pogba, and basically told Tokyo reporters he wants to leave Manchester United, as he's confirmed. And he also said, he actually, publicly announced this, for the first time, and he even did say Paul Pogba was willing to go on strike, to force through a move from Manchester United, to Real Madrid and all that. So I do believe he's still probably, keen on making the move to Real Madrid, is Paul Pogba. But I think, we've indicated that Paul Pogba is not for sale, and I think, we want around £150 million. It was initially in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's plan, to build a side around Paul Pogba, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer knows how much of an imperative player Paul Pogba is, and I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, is doing everything he can, to try and convince him to remain at the football club. Obviously, it came out the other day saying that we was set to hand Paul Pogba a loyalty bonus. I think we are set to hand him a loyalty bonus worth around £4 million, or almost £4 million. I think he's set to be given this payment on the 1st of July. He did also say we was willing to offer him a long-term contract worth £500,000 a week to convince him to stay at the football club. Obviously, Paul Pogba's still got 2 years left on his deal with Manchester United, with an option to extend it for the further year. With an option to extend it by a further year, and he's on about £298,000 a week. And obviously, if he was to sign this new long-term contract worth £500,000 a week, he would get a pay rise of around £200,000, of course. And obviously, it would make him one of the highest paid players at the club, alongside it. Would make him the highest paid player at the club, alongside Alexis Sanchez. But I do believe that Paul Pogba is going to be, definitely leaving the football club. It came out quite a few weeks back saying that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was willing to offer him the captaincy in a bid to convince him to remain at the football club. But we do know, at least in the last 5 or 6 weeks, maybe even longer than that Paul Pogba's agent, Mini Raiola, has been in the process of finding him a new club and all that. But we paid £89 million for him. Obviously, our most expensive signing. He hasn't really been the fundamental player as we all thought he would have been. But recent reports have been coming out in the last couple of weeks, saying that Juventus are interested in re-signing him. Obviously, it does say that Juventus have held talks with Paul Pogba's agent, Raiola, and it also confirmed last week that the Juventus director had travelled to London, to hold negotiation with Manchester United over the possibility of re-signing Paul Pogba, because obviously, he did have 4 good years in Turin, and he exceeded expectation levels really, really well, but hasn't really replicated this form, since he came back to Manchester United. Obviously, the Juventus director, came out and said, that Juventus, love Paul Pogba a lot, so maybe he would be open, to making the return back to Turin. Probably Juventus may be willing to offload one or two of their players, one or two of their essential players, as part of the deal, to fund the move for Paul Pogba, because I don't think Juventus are keen on getting him on a straight cash payment, because like I said, we want around £160 million for him. It did say one of the players Juventus were willing to offer was Paul Dybala. Obviously, Paul Dybala has been on Manchester United's agenda for quite some time. It also came out yesterday saying that Juventus were willing to offer Douglas Costa plus cash as part of the deal for Pogba again. So obviously, this could obviously convince us, to lower our price tag if Juventus are willing to offer one or two of their players as part of the deal. Douglas Costa has been linked to a move to Manchester United in the past. But yeah, Juventus have definitely now stepped up their interest. Obviously, Real Madrid have obviously got 5 players on the board so far this summer. Obviously, they got Eden Hazard for £150 million, so I don't think Real Madrid, would be keen on spending another £150 million on Paul Pogba. Obviously, Zinedine Zidane has instructed his Real Madrid board, to prioritise a transfer for Paul Pogba. Obviously, I think Paul Pogba and Christian Eriksen's on Real Madrid's agenda. Obviously, Christian Eriksen probably would be a cheaper solution for Real Madrid than Paul Pogba and all that, but Real Madrid, do want to get the deal over the line. Obviously, it confirmed a while back that talks had stalled, between Paul Pogba and Real Madrid, because obviously, based on Paul Pogba's 13 million a year wage demands, and he even did say, Paul Pogba, was willing to take a pay cut, to make his move to Real Madrid. But Paul Pogba did say a while back, about his dreams of playing for Real Madrid, and he classified them as one of the biggest clubs in the world, and all that. Did say at some point in his career, he does, want to play for Real Madrid, and all that does Paul Pogba. Maybe the couple of main factors why he wants to leave Manchester United, because maybe he wants to be playing amongst better players, maybe he wants to be, in Champions League football, wants to be, winning stuff, and all that, and he's not experiencing this, of course, at Manchester United. But it came out the other week saying that Real Madrid, were willing to offer Gareth Bale as part of the deal for Paul Pogba. But like I said, I don't know if Manchester United, would be willing to go along with this, because I don't think Florentino Perez is keen on a straight cash payment for him. But like I said, we inquired about getting Gareth Bale on loan the other week. There was a lot of stories coming out about it, saying that Manchester United were interested in getting him on loan. We was willing to pay his wages and that off. Obviously, we was willing to pay him a loan fee for him and all that. But obviously, we're not keen on getting Gareth Bale on a permanent deal. But recently, Gareth Bale's agent had come out and basically said that he will not be sanctioned off on loan and all that. But could possibly Bale be still part of the deal with Paul Pogba if he goes to Madrid. Possibly he could be, but I don't think Manchester United are keen on recommending Bale in. But we have he came out the other week saying that we'd inquired about getting him on loan. Real Madrid obviously want to get rid of him permanently. They would obviously prefer to get rid of him permanently, but obviously they're going to find that hard, based on his substantial wages, because I think he's on about £600,000 a week. When I think he's on about about 600 grand a week that Gareth Bale's on. So probably not many teams would be able to afford him. Obviously Real Madrid got him for £85 million from Tottenham back in 2013, and I think Real Madrid are looking to recoup the majority of that money, that they did pay for him from, Tottenham back in 2013 and all that. But obviously, Manchester United are not willing to pay up to £75 million for his services. He's got 3 years left on his contract with Real Madrid, but and I don't want him at Manchester United because he's aging up. Obviously, he's injury prone. Even though he's injury prone, though, to be fair, his ratios are still very, very good. He's scored 102 goals in 231 games for Real Madrid, and provided them about 64 assists and all that, and he's won loads of honours at Real Madrid, and he has been there 6 years. But like I said, he's been inconsistent in the last couple of seasons, and I just don't want Gareth Bale at Manchester United. Even though he's been relentlessly linked to a move to Old Trafford, since like 2013, and of course the rumours have continued to persist since then. So it came out the other week saying that we inquired about getting Gareth Bale on loan. But with Paul Pogba, he was subjected to a lot of transfer speculation last year, based on his poor relationship with Jose Mourinho. Obviously there was talks about him going to Juventus last year, of it wasn't there, because Juventus were in for him last year. I think there was talks about him going to Barcelona in January. But yeah, Paul Pogba got one of his best wishes when Jose Mourinho left, and obviously, with Manchester United, he's won the Europa League and the League Cup. Obviously, that came in his second season with the club and all that. So I do believe, that Paul Pogba is going to be leaving and all that. But he has been widely spoken about. But like I said, it's going to be hard for us to find a player of Paul Pogba's caliber, to replace him and all that. But obviously, we've looked at quite a few possible targets, who could replace Paul Pogba. I think one of them is definitely, Bruno Fernandes from Sporting Lisbon. Obviously, I think we may now have to, make a final decision on Bruno Fernandes, based on Tottenham's interest, because now reportedly Tottenham have stepped up their interest in Bruno Fernandes. It initially came out the other week saying that that Tottenham had expressed their interest. Obviously, Tottenham have got quite a few midfielders on their agenda, but I think it came out last week, or was it 4 or 5 days ago, saying that Tottenham had actually ruled out the move for Bruno Fernandes. But yeah, it came out yesterday. I was reading up from the Telegraph. It came from James Ducker, like I updated you on. It said Tottenham have held negotiations with Bruno Fernandes' agent, because obviously Bruno Fernandes' agent was in London on Wednesday, having negotiations with Tottenham and all that. So this could now make us make a final decision on him. Obviously we want to get the deal fully finalised for Bissaka. Then after that, our priority of course will be to get a midfielder in, and that hopefully that is going to be a Bruno Fernandes. I think we did inform Bruno Fernandes' representatives that that we do need a bit more time. Obviously we are reflecting on getting the deal with we're focusing on getting the deal over the line for Bissaka first before we do make more of a move for Bruno Fernandes. But we definitely are still in there for him. I do believe we're still emerge as the front runners to get the players' signature and all that. Obviously, Liverpool have been in for Bruno Fernandes. Obviously, if he went to Liverpool, I think he'd fit Liverpool's system perfectly. Liverpool, of course, can offer him Champions League football. It came out the other day saying that Liverpool had put in a bid in for him of around 45 million euros. Obviously, that equates to around 40 million in pounds sterling and all that. I think Liverpool are reportedly the first team to make any kind of formal bid for Bruno Fernandes. Obviously, Manchester City were in for him, but like I said, it come out the other week. Manchester City now have pulled out of the race for him because City have basically withdrawn their interest. But basically, Tottenham are in for him because obviously, Tottenham are seeing him as a replacement for Christian Eriksen. Obviously, because he's linked will move to Real Madrid. And obviously, Tottenham have got quite a few midfielders on their agenda. I do believe that Tango Ndombele is on Tottenham's agenda. Tottenham want to get a deal finalised for him. Obviously, Tottenham are also in for Giovan Lo Celso from Real Betis. But yeah, I still believe, that Tottenham are in for Bruno Fernandes. But I like Bruno Fernandes a lot. He would be the good adequate replacement for Paul Pogba. He's only 24 years of age. He has got goals in him. Obviously, he scored 31 goals for Sporting Lisbon in all competitions last season. And he has been at Sporting Lisbon, a couple of seasons. It did say we were willing to pay up to around £70 million for his services. Maybe they won't get that Sporting Lisbon. Maybe they'll sell him for around maybe 45 or 50 million. I think Sporting Lisbon, do want at least around £50 million from him and all that. But he said we are prepared to pay up to £70 million for his services. Like I said, 24 years of age. He did say, Bruno Fernandes, he would talk to Sporting Lisbon about leaving if a club came up with an offer, that he couldn't currently refuse. And obviously, he still says, he follows the Italian football and all that. He watches it, obviously, because obviously he spent the majority of his career in Italy, when he was younger, the likes of Sampdoria, Londonese and all that. But it's very imperative that we get a deal over the line for him because he has been one of our main priority targets, for quite some time now, as Bruno Fernandes. Came out the other week saying that Ed Woodward was very hesitant over our move for Bruno Fernandes because Ed Woodward has got reservations about us, spending big on players who he doesn't think, of course, are going to step up to the mark. But I do believe, we are in the current ascendancy. And Bruno Fernandes would be fantastic for Manchester United. He hasn't really played to the highest level yet, let's be honest. He hasn't really played to the highest level yet, but I do believe he's got definitely all the attributes to succeed in the Premier League. I do believe he would exceed expectation levels in the Premier League. So we want to get a deal over the line for Bissaka and then focus on getting a deal over the line for Bruno Fernandes. So I think he would be a good replacement for Paul Pogba. Still got a hell of a lot of development in him. So I think he'd fit the Manchester United agenda, really, really well. Obviously, there's been talks about Youri Tielemans from Leicester. Like I said, I think he'd be a good replacement for Paul Pogba, with Youri Tielemans. Recent reports came out saying that we've actually, pulled out of the race now for Youri Tielemans, even though a lot of reports were emerging out of the media last week, saying that, we'd, revived our interest in him. It did say, we'd been in negotiation with Youri Tielemans' agent, over the possible deal and all that. But yeah, he's available for a reasonable figure. He's available for around £40 million with Youri Tielemans because this is obviously what Monaco rate him at. Obviously, Youri Tielemans has had about 5-6 months of experience under his belt in the Premier League, which is very, very good because obviously he had been on loan with Leicester, since January. But obviously now his loan spell has come to an end with Leicester and he has made the return to Monaco. But I think Youri Tielemans has confirmed from his own perspective that he will not be at Monaco next season, so he will be applying his trade elsewhere next season. But recent reports said we've been offered the chance to sign him, but reportedly, we have rejected that opportunity. According to recent reports I read, obviously, Leicester want to get him on a permanent deal and all that. Leicester have been in talks with Monaco about this. I think also Manchester City have been in for him. Obviously, Tottenham have been in there for Youri Tielemans. I think he's under contract with Monaco till 2022, but I think he's primarily a box-to-box midfielder. I think he can also play him as an attacking midfielder, can Youri Tielemans, and he's only 22 years of age, and I do believe he would be a good replacement for Paul Pogba. Obviously, as I've been updating you on a regular basis as well about Sean Longstaff from Newcastle. Now, I haven't read up much about Sean Longstaff, quite recently, to be quite honest with you. I heard the other week that I did say, we were closing in on around the £25 million deal for him. He's British, he's 21 years of age, like I said. I think it was only his first season in the senior squad with Newcastle last season. I think he played about 9 games under Rafael Benitez and all that. But he did say we're closing on a deal for him. I think he didn't play the remainder of the last... I don't think he played the last couple of months of last towards the back end of last season. He didn't play the last couple of months, due to that he had a sustained a knee ligament injury, and he's still recovering from this knee ligament injury. Sean Longstaff, so it should be looking better at him. He's going to be coming to Manchester United. I think he's also had loan spells with Kilmarnock. He's also had loan spells there with Blackpool. So obviously, he's been on Manchester United's agenda. I think he's actually, primarily, a box-to-box midfielder. But like I said, there has been so many midfielders on our agenda. Like I said, I do believe we need a holding midfielder. That is actually, very, very essential. Obviously, Joe Felix from Benfica. Obviously, we still know that he's on our agenda. I haven't read up much about Joe Felix, quite lately, to be quite honest with you. Obviously, we do know it's been Manchester United and Manchester City that have been battling out for his services. Obviously, he's only 19 years of age. He's been relentlessly linked to move away from Benfica since like January. And Man United, I think, have been scouting him, since January, because he's a really, really good player. Primarily an attacking midfielder, can also play as a winner, a striker, and a secondary striker. So his versatility, is very, very good. He has got goals in him, and I do believe Joe Felix, can emulate into one of the best players in the world, and all that. But I do really, really like him. Like I said, it was only his first season in the senior squad with Benfica last season. Obviously, I don't think he's yet, made his senior debut of Portugal. But I think probably Man United or City, on that, I think Real Madrid have also been linked to him before. Probably would have to pay around £105 million to him, because that's obviously, his buyout clause. And I think Benfica have confirmed if they're willing to sell him, his buyout clause, it has to be triggered and all that. But I do really, really like Joe Felix a lot. I do really, really like Joe Felix, and I do believe he would be a good addition, to our squad and all that. He brings them goals that we do need and all that. But I haven't read up about him, much lately, to be quite honest with you. Yes, so many players on our current agenda. Like I've basically, been updating you as well about Romelu Lukaku. I think it's looking very imminent, he's going to be leaving Manchester United. Obviously, Inter Milan have been heavily linked with him. Obviously, it did say that he has now, this was according to the Daily Mail I read up yesterday, it did basically say that Inter Milan have agreed £180,000 a week, with Romelu Lukaku. So Lukaku has agreed a deal with Inter Milan, worth £180,000 a week. Obviously, like I said, he's been on Inter Milan's agenda, for quite some time. Obviously, Antonio Conte has identified him as his number one target. Lukaku, recently described Conte as one of the best managers in the world. So obviously, he wants to, go play under Antonio Conte as Lukaku, because Lukaku may believe he may flourish under Antonio Conte's guidance and all that. Reflected back a couple of years ago, Antonio Conte wanted Lukaku, but obviously this is when he was Chelsea manager. Obviously, won the Premier League with Chelsea in that in his first season, won the FA Cup with Chelsea. But obviously, Antonio Conte didn't get Lukaku, because obviously, Lukaku came to Manchester United. But I do believe everything has actually been agreed, between Lukaku and Inter Milan, except the fee. And I still believe, that Inter Milan and Manchester United are negotiating on a fee. I think, the actual fee, could be problematic for Inter Milan, because we are demanding, we want around £75 million for him, and I don't think Inter Milan are willing to pay this. So basically, we're looking to recoup the money that we did pay for him from Everton a couple of years ago. £75 million we got him for. Obviously, there was add-ons included in the deal of £15 million, which did potentially rise it to £90 million. He has still got 3 years left on his contract with Manchester United, and I think he's on about £250,000 a week. But Lukaku's agent had revealed a while back that his future is very, very open. Look, I think it came out about 3 weeks ago, was it 4 weeks ago now, saying that Lukaku had been in Italy, and he held a negotiation with the Inter Milan's representatives over coming to an agreement on a deal and all that. So I do believe everything's been agreed. The personal terms have been agreed. I think it said he agreed a 5-year deal with them, which will take him under contract till 2024 and all that. Inter Milan are willing to meet his wage demands, but obviously, they have not yet, come to an agreement on a fee. Some reports were speculating out the other week saying that wanted £80 million for him. Now it's saying want £75 million. So it come out the other day. I read up saying that want at least around £62 million for him. But he's served his two requirements at Manchester United, and I think it will be beneficial for us, if we do currently sell him, it will help us with our transition and all that. And he is one of the problematic players at Manchester United. He's served his two requirements at the club. Obviously, he's initially lost his place in the team, because we know Rashford his first choice ahead of him. And obviously, Lukaku is reluctant, to play a backup role to Marcus Rashford. Lukaku served 2 years at Manchester United. He scored 42 goals in 96 games in all competitions. He did well in his first season with the club, but he didn't really replicate that in his second season. I think he sustained, quite a few injuries last season, did Romelu Lukaku. But he is 26 years of age. He has still got a lot of development minimum and all that. But we want around £75 million for him. I think Inter Milan report, he did say before, need to raise around £40 million by the end of this month, to meet financial fair play regulations. But Inter Milan have tried to convince us, to lower our price tag, with Lukaku and all that, by willing to offer, Icardi as part of the deal for Lukaku. So I think they have offered Icardi in exchange for Lukaku, but obviously, we've turned this down. Obviously, he did say they'd offered us Ivan Perisic, plus cash for Lukaku, but we turned this down because obviously we know that Ivan Perisic is no longer a Manchester United target and all that. He was a long-term target under Mourinho, but he's no longer now a Manchester United target. He's Ivan Perisic. But yeah, like I said, we've got to get rid of him, even though his ratio is still very good in the Premier League. His pedigree is very, very good in the Premier League because he has scored a lot of goals in the Premier League. But you do know how much strong reservations I've got about him. Obviously, he doesn't, he's not reliable enough, to get them runs in behind. He's not really good in the air. He hasn't really got that endless potential and all. He can perform a bit better when he's getting that support up front, can Lukaku. But like I said, we've definitely got to get rid of him. It's going to help us with our transition, selling Pogba, selling Lukaku and all that. I think definitely, Darmian and Rojo are going to be leaving the club. But I think we can get maybe around 25 or £30 million, for Martial, Darmian and Marcus Rojo. So probably about 4 or 5 players are expected to leave Manchester United. I hope Alexis Sanchez, does leave. We're not going to be able to get rid of Sanchez permanently, based on his substantial wages and all that. I think his wages are having a really, really bad effect on the football club. He's on 400 grand a week, potentially rising up to 500 grand a week, based on the image rights and the bonuses and all that. And his wages are having a really bad effect on the football club. And he has no future at the club anyway. He is 30. He has lost that yard of pace. And initially, isn't Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first choice anyway. But we did play him, quite a few times last season because obviously Martial got injured, but we had sustained quite a few injuries last season, so Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had to rotate a little bit, especially in that midfield. He had to rotate because initially his first choice midfield was obviously Pogba, Herrera and Matic, but obviously they got injuries and all that, quite a few of them, so he obviously had to rotate in certain areas, did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But Alexis Sanchez has become injury prone anyway since he's come to United. I think he must have sustained about 3 or 4 injuries last season. Obviously we got him in January 2018 from Arsenal. Obviously we got him involved. We got him as part of a swap deal, for Mkhitaryan, Alexis Sanchez, but he hasn't exceeded expectation levels at the club as we all thought he would have done because he did well in his 4 years he had with Arsenal. He did really, really well. Obviously he played under Pep Guardiola, when he was younger at Barcelona. He did well there, but he hasn't replicated this at Manchester United. So I do believe that we do need to currently get rid of him without a shadow of a doubt. Like I said, with De Gea, it's looking likely, he probably, will be staying at the football club now. According to recent reports anywhere, they're basically said now that PSG have turned their attentions more on Donnarumma, even though De Gea, was linked to with a £60 million move to PSG, because I think PSG were preparing to put a bid in for him of around £60 million. Obviously, PSG have spent big on players in the last couple of seasons, on Mbappe and Neymar. Obviously, they're the two most expensive, players in world football and all that. And I think PSG do have their eye on UEFA's financial fair play and all that. I think initially at one point did say PSG were intending on getting De Gea on a free transfer next year, but obviously we wouldn't want to let David De Gea go on a free transfer next year. We have still got the risk of losing David De Gea on a free transfer next year if he stays at Manchester United next season, because obviously if we don't come to an agreement to get him a new contract, that is, if we come to an agreement to get him a new contract, that will be very, very good. But we have not come to an agreement to get David De Gea a new contract. PSG obviously want a goalkeeper because obviously Buffon has just obviously most recently left PSG. De Gea said he wants around 350 grand a week. Obviously we're not willing to meet them wage demands. In his current deal at the moment, De Gea is on about 200 grand a week, so he's demanding like £150 million pay rise to commit his future with Manchester United and all that. Well, he's been loyal to us for 8 years, but if he's going to continue being loyal with the club, he wants 350 grand a week if he's to sign a new contract. But like I said, the club are not willing to meet his £350,000 a week wage demand. Like I said, he's been here 8 years. He's been a good servant to the club. He has made over 300 appearances in all competitions and all that. Obviously, he's won the club's player of the year 4 times out of the last 6 years. Won everything domestically and all that. And he's really, really good, and he's the best goalkeeper in the world. And I do believe at full value for a goalkeeper, he's definitely worth £100 million. But like I said, if we were to cash in for him this summer, we wouldn't get £100 million because obviously he's in the final year of his contract is De Gea. So according to recent reports now, he's likely to stay because PSG have turned their attentions more on Donnarumma. Real Madrid have also been long admirers of David De Gea, but I don't see him making the move to Real Madrid. But yeah, he's in the final year of his current contract. Obviously, a lot of reports were going on a couple of days ago in regard to Patrick-Emerick Aubameyang from Arsenal. Now, this was actually stemming from Andy Goldstein, who was a presenter of TalkSport. He said Manchester United are interested in Patrick-Emerick Aubameyang from Arsenal. That is a surprise, to be quite honest with you. I don't believe there's a lot of credibility in it, which basically means that I don't think that Patrick Aubameyang would end up coming to Manchester United. Obviously, we would see him as a replacement for Romelu Lukaku, but Andy Goldstein said Manchester United are interested in him, and he did say we are preparing an audacious move for Aubameyang, and he did say we're willing to pay up to around £70 million for his services. But I like Aubameyang a lot. I like Patrick-Emerick Aubameyang a lot. He's mainly a striker. He can also play out wide, so he can play on the left, he can play on the right. He can score goals. He's good in the air. He can score goals. He's good in the air. His finishing's good. His pace is good. Just really, really good player. So I would actually if we had the chance to sign him, I would take him at Manchester United. But he is now 30 years of age. Aubameyang, I think he's got 2 years left on his contract with Arsenal. Obviously, Arsenal got him in January 2018. Obviously, Arsenal paid him around, was it £56 million for his services, and he's done really, really well for Arsenal. Obviously, last season he scored 22 goals in 36 games in the Premier League. I think he scored 31 goals in all competitions, did Aubameyang, but he got 22 in 36 in the Premier League last season, and obviously was the Premier League's joint top goal scorer alongside Mohamed Salah and Sadio Mane. So yeah, I've always liked Aubameyang, especially during his Borussia Dortmund days and all that. I think also Aubameyang has been linked to a move to China. He's been linked with the Chinese Super League, so I think quite a few Chinese clubs have been in there for him and all that. So I think if he does leave Arsenal, he probably will end up making the move to China. But he could actually stay at Arsenal. Arsenal could come to an agreement to get him a new contract and all that. But I've always liked Aubameyang. He would definitely deliver us them goals that we do need, because we need someone that can lead the lines and someone that can win us them goals. Because last season that was a problem. Wasn't scoring enough goals. Wasn't ruthless enough in front of goal. Like I said, the likes of Rashford at the moment, he isn't reliable enough, to get us them goals that we do need. Obviously, he has not emulated to that level yet. It's going to take him a couple of years, to get him to that level where he does currently want to be. Marcus Rashford. He's been poor in the last couple of months as Marcus Rashford. Don't forget, he sustained quite a few injuries, last season that had a bad effect on his game. But like I said, he hasn't got to that level yet, and I still believe he's a long-term solution for Manchester United. He's only 21 years of age. Obviously, Rashford's been in United play since the age of 7, 8, graduated from the youth system, been in our senior squad, since 2016. But like I said, Rashford's not reliable enough, to get us them goals that we do need. So we definitely, need a striker to replace Lukaku. So I do, I like Aubameyang a lot. But like I said, that's mainly everything to update you with. So the main part of this video, was to give you the latest about Harry Maguire. It's looking likely now we're going to miss out on Harry Maguire. According to recent reports, they've said City are in pole position to sign him. City have scheduled a medical for Harry Maguire, so he's set to have a medical with Manchester City and all that. Even though City are not willing to pay up to £80 million, City, I think according to the Metro, may be able to get him in a deal, worth around £65 million. But at the time, we were confident we could beat Manchester City to the signing of him, because we was actually willing to pay £80 million. And we was confident, based on City's reluctance, to pay him £80 million for him. But Harry Maguire's confirmed, his preference is actually, Manchester City and all that. So we are set to miss out on Harry Maguire. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do consider subscribe, as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.